The world beneath the surface is an alien one, a labyrinth of stone, darkness, and silence. For most, it's a place of mystery and danger. But for one man, it was home. Sheck Exley was no ordinary diver. He was a pioneer, a legend, and ultimately, a man who pushed the limits of human endurance further than anyone before him. This is his story. Born on April 1st, 1949, in Jacksonville, Florida, Sheck Exley grew up with a deep love for the water. As a child, he was fascinated with exploration, often spending his days in the rivers and springs near his home. But it was at the age of 16 that he took his first steps into the world that would define his life. In 1965, he strapped on a scuba tank and made his first dive into a flooded cave. From that moment on, he was hooked. Exley was not just another thrill seeker. He was meticulous, disciplined, and possessed a unique ability to remain calm under pressure, traits that would serve him well in the treacherous world of cave diving. Unlike open water diving, cave diving is an unforgiving endeavor. There is no direct path to the surface, no room for mistakes. Sheck Exley knew this better than anyone. As he honed his skills, he began to explore some of the most dangerous cave systems in the world. His reputation grew, and soon, he became one of the leading figures in the emerging field of technical diving. Sheck made history in the Devil's Eye Spring in Florida, mapping passages that no human had ever seen before. But his ambitions didn't stop at mapping caves. He wanted to push the limits of depth, endurance, and survival. In 1974, Exley became the first chairman of the cave diving section of the National Speleological Society. He also authored books that would become the foundation of modern cave diving safety: Basic Cave Diving, A Blueprint for Survival, and Caverns Measureless to Man. But Exley wasn't just a teacher. He was also a record breaker. He was among the first to survive a 400-foot open water dive on compressed air, something that few could do without succumbing to nitrogen narcosis. In 1970, he acted as a safety diver for two men attempting to set an air depth record. They never made it back. Exley reached 465 feet before narcosis nearly took him too, forcing him to ascend. From that moment on, he knew that extreme depth required more than just bravery. It required meticulous planning. Over the years, Exley pioneered multi-stage decompression techniques, allowing him to make dives that others could only dream of. He became the first person to log over 1,000 cave dives, by the age of 23, no less. By the end of his career, he had logged over 4,000. In 1994, Exley set his sights on his most ambitious dive yet, Zacatón, the deepest known freshwater sinkhole in the world, located in Mexico. At over 1,000 feet deep, it was an abyss that no human had ever fully explored. Exley, along with his fellow deep diver, Jim Bowden, planned to change that. On April 6, 1994, Exley and Bowden made their descent. Everything had been planned down to the last detail. But as they passed 700 feet, things started to go wrong. Bowden reached 900 feet before realizing his gas supply was running low. He had no choice but to turn back. Exley, on the other hand, continued down. And it was the last time Bowden saw him alive. 3 days later, his support team pulled up his unused decompression tanks. Attached to the line was Exley's lifeless body. His dive computer read a maximum depth of 906 feet. No one knows exactly what happened in his final moments, but theories range from high-pressure nervous syndrome to equipment failure. One thing is certain: he had secured himself to the descent line, perhaps knowing that he wouldn't make it back. The cave diving world was shaken. The man who had written the rulebook, who had survived dives that no one else could, had finally met his match. Yet, Exley's legacy didn't end in Zacatón. His work laid the foundation for modern technical diving. The safety procedures he helped develop, like the octopus regulator system, are now standard practice. His books continue to educate new generations of divers long after his death. The Sheck Exley Award, given to divers who complete 1,000 safe cave dives, remains one of the highest honors in the field. And in the depths of the Australian caves, a newly discovered species of remipede was named in his honor, L. Exley. Cave diving remains one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Even with today's advanced technology, the risks are immense. Equipment failure, poor visibility, and disorientation can turn a routine dive into a death trap. But perhaps the greatest danger is overconfidence. Even Sheck Exley, a man who had survived more than 4,000 dives, fell victim to the depths. To this day, Zacatón holds its secrets, and the world of cave diving remains as dangerous as ever. But one thing is certain, Sheck Exley's name will never be forgotten.
If you liked that video, please consider leaving a like and a thumbs up, and if you have any suggestions for future videos or ways that we can improve, please leave them in the comments below. With that, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video.